Old habit to break.
I know.
Sorry. I have already documented the attendance.
Okay.
If you want to forego the roll call.
All right. We'll skip the roll call then, and we'll just go right on to the meeting. And let's see, first on the agenda is financial report.
Right.
All right, I just got on my laptop.
So first, I would just like to share that the senior center continues to grow, and I think that that is a testament to the Lynn seniors and the staff that we have here and the community support that the center has. For the month of December, we served 1,312 seniors, of which 8 were new seniors to the center. So with that being said, I am going to go into the financial report.
Okay.
The Lynn Senior Center is funded from 2 sources. Primarily, the city gives us funding for about half of our payroll salaries, and the second source is the formula grant from the Commonwealth. As of December, we received $156,352 for our formula grant. We get that twice a year. I believe I've shared in a previous meeting that we had about $500,000. So some of these funds have been moved, and I just want to share with you where they've gone. We've transferred out $385,760 for payroll. We've revised our budget to $277,228. We spent for the month of December $9,916. And our current available budget is $260,361. Pam, I will send you this, if that will be helpful.
Yes, very
Okay.
helpful. Thank you. I was
Surely.
going to say, I'm going to have to go back to the recording. My
I'm gonna
typing
send
is
it to
not
you.
that fast.
All
All
right.
right.
Counselor Jacutis, we have a hand raised.
Oh, okay. Who has a question?
Lisa.
Oh, hey, Lisa.
Megan, can we just clarify for the COA that budget money that you gave is from the formula grant? It does not include that the other grants that you have received funding for into the senior center.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that the state sends money to the senior center through the formula grant. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. That's 2 payments allotted to the city over a fiscal year. In addition, Megan and the staff have applied for various grants to various, locations like MOCA, Massachusetts Council on Aging, and she has additional money set aside for spending as to how that grant dictates it to be spent. So what grants are there at the senior center, Megan? The MOCA grant?
Yes, there's a $10,000 grant from MCOA, and that is for, we use part of that for Senior Citizens Day. We're doing cultural events for using that resource, that financial resource. We also have a grant from Title III, and that is being used for the Mind, Body, and Soul program, mindful meditation, sheer yoga, and tech learning. Through the Friends of the Council on Aging, we have a grant from the Phoenix Food Hub, which supports cooking programming and getting seniors to and from the food pantry once a week. We also have a grant from the opioid settlement for a grandparent support group for grandparents raising grandchildren due to the opioid crisis. That has enabled us to apply for a staff person to be paid out of that line for that grant. And we are building a resource relaxation room for grandparents who are raising their grandchildren on the 2nd floor of the senior center. So those are the grants that we have.
Megan, do we still have the digital literacy grant?
No, that grant has expired.
Okay.
But again, like you said, those grants specifically are just for those events. You cannot use them for anything else.
Exactly.
Just so people know that when you do apply for a grant, It has specific requirements and it can only be used for what you applied for. And they're very strict on the guidelines. So you can't move even $10 to somewhere else to pay for something.
Right.
So everyone knows these grants are specifically for those events she has listed.
Right.
Thank you for pointing that out. So the grants, as Diane Chakuta said, the grants are specifically for the items that were applied for, and each grant has its own recording, responsibilities, and documentation that has to be provided back to the funding source for what exactly was done with that money, and they align it with the proposal.
And Megan, correct me if I'm wrong. I know certain grants, let's say the $10,000 grant. I know we used to on certain things when I did Little League. We used to have to pay the 10,000, but once we had all the receipts and the proof we did what we did, then they distribute the check to us. Does it still work that way on certain items? Okay.
Yes, they're reimbursable grants. Exactly,
Okay.
That's what they are.
Just want to make sure. So it's not like she has the 10,000 in her account right now. She has to go through the process, submit everything, and then they send her the reimbursement part.
Right.
Yes.
Grants can be tricky, and I know sometimes they're hard to understand, so I just wanted to make sure everyone realized she doesn't have a spare 10,000 sitting in her account. She has to spend that money with the receipts to show proof, and then they will reimburse her, and it will go back into the account it's supposed to go in.
Correct.
Does anybody have any questions on that? Sorry.
That's okay. If I could just also point out the value of the grants is that it helps prevent from constantly having to go to the formula grants, right? So that formula grant stays there for, salaries, for overall supplies, for the bills at the senior center that may not be, additional bills, like we have a water bubbler here, things like that. When the cultural grant can cover an event, that's money that doesn't have to come out of the formula grants. So, that's one of the reasons why, getting those grants is important. So I just kind of wanted to, explain how we try to make it all work together.
Thank you, Lisa. I know Jean Marie has a question.
Just some clarification questions. So the formula grant is for operational purposes?
The formula grant is given to the senior center, and it is up to the senior center to decide how to utilize those funds. So we use the majority of it we use for programming. We use a portion of it to support the salaries. There are 7 full-time employees here at the senior center. So the city gives us money towards the salary, and we use formula grant money towards the salaries as well.
So just to understand the funding, so
Yes.
there are, because Lisa said there are cultural grants. Those are the grants that you apply for all the various programs that otherwise wouldn't happen unless you had those cultural grants. Is that pretty fair to say?
So,
Jean Marie, I wouldn't call them cultural grants.
right.
One of the grants is a cultural grant.
Okay.
But the grants are a number, one is what we used to have a digital literacy grant that has been expended. The Mass Council on Aging grant is for cultural events. The Phoenix Food Hub grant, So, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I misunderstood. So just trying to get a handle on the monies, which keep everything, flowing over there at the senior center. So, okay, because I haven't seen this, in a while. I don't know when we've last had sort of a line item of grants. So
We've had that before.
I know we've had it before, and I'm just asking these questions so that I can understand. Because as I was looking at the file today, I was going over all the things that we did last March or in March of 25, where we were asking for more sponsorship. So my thinking is we're probably coming up on that again, the whole idea of maybe we're going to implement that again. I don't know, Diana, if that is a plan.
Yep, that sponsorship we did through the Friends of Council on Aging, because the COA cannot fundraise because we are part of the city. So that money goes directly to the Friends, and they distribute it when Megan or Tanya asks them, can you help us pay for this or certain events. the Friends can fundraise and give the senior center money for various items they need.
Right. Okay. I just needed some clarification here on these different grants. Thank you.
Any other questions on the grants or the money? No? All right. We basically did, that basically came as the income and the expenses. So you have program activities.
Absolutely. We continue to do incredible programming here at the Senior Center. For the month of February, we'll have a community outing that will go to Revere Shopping Plaza with our seniors. We will have supper club on February 10th, and we will be doing crafts during supper club. Chorus Club will meet on Thursday, February 12th and the 26th. We will be playing trivia on February 3rd, February 10th, and February 24th. We will have coloring with jazz on February 12th and February 26th. A movie and popcorn on February 26th as well. For our programming, and this is something that is covered under the Title III grant that we received from GLIS. It is cheer yoga, which will be February 3rd, 10th, and 17th. Mindful meditation will be the 12th and the 26th. And tech support with Larry is the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, and the 30th. And all of that is from the Title III funding grant that we have. We will also have a program that we had last year. It's bingo size, which will be February 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, February 13th, 20th, and 27th. That is a exercise program that is similar to bingo. They play games, they learn about health and nutrition and move around. Our seniors love it, and it is a fully bilingual class that we are running there. So those are activities. Our events, the Friends are hosting a 50-50 raffle here on February 13th. We will be celebrating Chinese New Year on February 17th. We will have a Black History fashion show where Lisa is going to MC because that's one of her many strengths for us, and that is February 27th. The trips for this month for the casino will be, they'll be going to the Brook, on February 12th. And the Out to Lunch restaurant is going to be Green Tea on the Linway. Our presentations include presentations from the Sheriff's Department on Tuesday, February 3rd. Blue Cross Blue Shield will be presenting on Medicaid. Senior chat will be with Tristan Smith from the school committee. Thank you, Calvin. Grace Home Healthcare will be presenting on Thursday, February 17th. Department of Public Health will be presenting on American Health Month on Thursday, February 19th. Element Care will be presenting on their home health programs on Tuesday, February 24th. For community services, the community medical van will be at the Senior Center on Thursday, February 12th from 9 to 12. That is a wonderful resource to bring nurses to our seniors. People really like that, and that's, again, a good resource. We have case manager from GLIS, which will be with us on Tuesday, February 17th, another great local resource to help people figure out how to get their needs met. Our barber will be here on February 11th, and Mass Health with Claudia will be February 3rd and February 20th. Again, another really good resource for seniors. That's our activities, programming, events, trips, presentations, and services for the month of February.
Megan, I have a question. Have we had more seniors reach out to sign up for the newsletter?
People call probably about 3 or 4 times. We probably get 3 or 4 phone calls a month for people requesting to be added to our mailing list.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Megan? Jean
Yeah,
Marie?
just a couple. Yeah. packed program, really, and quite varied. It sounds great. My question is there anything missing that you come up against, or, you know, on a monthly basis, or are there programs that you're not getting that you want to get, or is there any request from you regarding your programming, your monthly programming?
We'd like to have a Shine counselor. We had one for a little while, and that was a helpful resource for seniors, but she had to go out. She went out on medical to kind of support her family. So I think that would be a neat area. But Claudia is doing a great job on helping people navigate that. And we also have the case manager from GLIS. So there are people that are filling that void.
For those of us who don't know, Shine Manager, you please.
Shine is a program that helps seniors figure out their Medicaid and their Medicare and which program to sign up for.
Okay.
So they help them assess their medication and their medical needs to determine what service is going to be best for them, because there's a lot of different Medicare, Medicaid programs that seniors can sign up for.
And how would you find that person?
We reached out to a couple of local ASAPs, which are Aging Service Access Points, to inquire. So right now, GLIS does not have one that's available to come. We've reached out to Merrimack Valley, so we're going to continue to put out those feelers. And when I'm in directors' meetings with other COAs, I'll be asking about who they have to support that service.
Okay, good, thank you.
Surely.
All right.
Shine is a volunteer. It's a volunteer program that the state, you have to go through quite a bit of training to do. So if anybody is out there and would like to be a Shine counselor, you can sign up through the state website to become one.
Thank you for that, Pam.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Hello, me.
Hey, Smitty.
Hey, Di. I want to know how come we don't have a school rep come in once a month or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry, a what rep?
A skull, you know, those the healthcare that beyond and better than Mass Health and Medicare,
I'm not sure.
like CTA and Fallon and United Healthcare.
I'm not really sure, Smitty, but I'm hoping maybe you and I can make an appointment and you can share some more information with me about that and I can look into it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right. So we're going to turn this over to Calvin from the Friends of the Council on Aging. Welcome, Calvin.
Hi. It's been 3 months. We've been preparing. We got a lot of new stuff to report on. So I know that on the agenda it was pretty much financial, but if you want, I can give you an update in some other things going on. Well, basically,
Your report. It's your
update on.
report. You can give.
All right.
Yeah.
Basically, we've happy to announce that back in November, we finally ratified just really the revisions to the bylaws, so that they're accepted now, they're official, everybody's got their copy, and it's brought into the new millennium. Basically, we just did some cleaning of the house of some things, but it's really a stronger document now, I think. And one of the elements was officially accepting electronic participation, either by phone or by any other electronic means. It sort of just echoes what the Commonwealth got into back in the COVID days, and now it's kind of been semi-permanent, but we just wanted to make sure that's official, especially for our demographic. I mean, to come in and participate, you really have to call somebody on their phone. It's on our table, and you're there for quorum, you're there for discussions. So we're glad we officially did that. Just a side note, I do host and produce the senior chat program, and I just want to tell you, last month, back by popular demand, we had ISD head Zosia Van Meter, and she's a rock star because the ISD takes care of the things that we like to call quality of life issues. And to wit, this woman stayed for a lot of one-on-ones afterward. We was perfect timing because we talked about the incoming storms. We had no idea that we were going to be having a 2 feet all at once. But some of the input made it into the tax bill, little burbs. And part of the program that they've got for seniors and other people who might be in need to reach out and either volunteer to shovel out or be one of those who volunteers to shovel out. So that program, which was just launched, I believe, last week by the city, in some measure was gleaned from our population at the senior center being influencers. So I just want to let you know that
Thank you, Calvin.
it's important. We've got a requisition form, and it's been working pretty well now for 3 months for Megan and administrators to just put it out on one form. Then we got the timing down so that we meet the second Tuesday of the month. So it gives us 2 weeks to go into our regular scheduled meeting, which is the 4th Thursdays. But that way, if there's any issues, we can contact the members and make sure that they know what's going on for the meeting so we can on issues. But the requisition form is very simple, and it's just dates, times, what it's for, estimated or solid costs, and then how it was resolved. So it's all in one form now with receipts attached and things like that. We got a bulletin board presence so that everybody at the senior center knows when our meetings are. We've got a new logo that was officially adopted. We're working on a new round of t-shirts and publicity that way. We've got virtually the entire Friends of the Seniors page now in the newsletter. And what it is it's a recruitment for new members, importantly, donations in memory of, etc. But we've added at the bottom wish lists and appreciation box. So anybody who did give contributions get listed, and they can opt out as anonymous if they want. But we've put down things that have already gleaned some contributions, some postage stamps, pastel green paper, business-sized envelopes, holiday decorations, things, extra bingo gifts, things like that. So, yes, the Phoenix Food Hub is a recurring thing that comes every year, and we sort of accept it to give it in their behalf because city agencies can't accept direct donations unless it goes, I guess, into the general fund or something. So that's what friends groups do. We're reaching more and more for sponsors for things. You probably know we do a monthly birthday party, birthday cake for everybody with a birthday that month. So we had 2 that were donated by private concerns, and the rest we cover on a regular basis. The good thing is about the raffles Megan was talking about. We've got a 6-month schedule now. We know the dates 6 months in advance, very solid, the days that we do it, so we can ramp up for that. As a placeholder, everybody write this down. April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2027. That's a year from this one. We are doing the fundraiser at the Tides, where on a Thursday night, they take 10% of all the proceeds and we get them. That's how far out they are for this very successful program. I've been involved with it before with a couple of other friends groups, and they're a year plus out for these Thursday night charity things. So we're trying to be creative and reach out to some of those. Now, at the same time, we're talking about a finance committee to launch probably in the spring a major donor drive beyond 50-50 raffles and a few $100 here and there. We're looking for some good sponsors on an annual basis so that we can project and look ahead at some of the bigger ticket items that might come up in the future. Also, once there's enough nest egg, we're looking at different ways of putting it in interest-bearing accounts that will let us make a little bit more money on a monthly basis and just keep the nest egg and don't spend any money, but give the money. So what we want to do is make sure there's some perpetuity in there, and you gotta, keep the gates flowing. What else? Our needs. We're still down a vice chair, a secretary, and now the membership chair is open. So the only two officers right now are the chair and the treasurer. So we're looking for talented people to join the team. There isn't a lot to do, but we need people to do it. And it's actually fun stuff. So we're looking for somebody, because in May there might be some transitions going on, and we want to get some people waiting in the wings to be able to take over, especially a treasurer's position and a membership position. So basically, that's just kind of what I was appealing for and giving you a report. We respond to every request. And, there's been a lot of other things donated, some microphone clips and things like that. Things that just we notice people need, and then somebody mentions it and somebody says, hey, I got those. We just had bingo bulbs for the antiquated bingo board, which, by the way, thank you, Pam. I did a field trip, and there's nobody's talking against it. So I have a feeling in the next several months, maybe before spring and summer, there will be a new millennium bingo operation. Now, what they're doing is they're getting away from the old bulky thing with the wood grain from the 70s on it. We're looking at a couple of just mounted TV screens, which will also be able to use for multimedia, PowerPoints, Zoom meetings, and movies, things like that. So that's all in progress. So we'll hopefully have some new information by the next one. But everybody agrees that was an easy one. Let's do a search and get some prices.
Nice, nice.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Calvin? Jean Marie?
How does, if somebody wants to sponsor a birthday month, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can call me. My number is on the bottom of this page, or just reach out to, even if they call the senior center, we'd get a message. I'm in there every Wednesday virtually, and we coordinate the second Tuesday is the day the treasurer and I meet with the director, because it happens to be the day everybody's there. Tuesdays are a good day. But they just reach out to us and we will do it.
Okay.
They can say anonymous, they can say whatever. We're using more and more of this page. This is going to be becoming an attention compeller. I think there was a glitch in the February one coming out. We're going to start running photographs and just post-mortem histories of events that we sponsored and things like that. So we want to keep it fresh but informational.
It's really wonderful that you have that full page. It's great, so people can go right to there. Here's another question. You spoke about donations. Is there any need, a lot of people will have electronics of some kind or another, TV screen, they upgrade their TV screens. Do we have any need for that sort of thing? Where? And that may be a question for me.
There may be. There's no real way to accept those, store them, deal with them, assess them. All I can say is if somebody wants to, they just call and offer. A lot of times individually we'll just find somebody who needs one or something like that, because of this networking that we do, just talking to members of our demographic.
So not to belabor this, but you mentioned something. So, I'm in the business of helping people downsize and all that stuff. That might be an interesting point if somebody has something that's verifiably workable. Is there a request line within the senior center that people say, look, my TV broke, I don't have money to go buy a TV? Is there anybody out there in our network who might have one?
All I can say is any phone call that comes into the senior center would be directed to the proper person. I know that I've got a nice vintage coffee percolator, and once you go back to perk, you don't do drip anymore. So I donated my very barely used drip maker to the senior center. Now they have an 8 to 10 cupper instead of the big urns when they need to do some smaller coffees. So there's things like that. But electronics, I don't know about that. But
Okay.
somehow, just personally, I know how to interact, and I've even been known to post on my marketplace Facebook page for other people. I've gotten rid of things for other people.
Right. Okay.
I've thought of that before. There's always a way.
Good. I love your creativity, Calvin. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm a Yankee.
Mary?
We're from New England.
Mary, do you have a question?
I do. Yes, Calvin. Can you tell me a little bit about the ISD that you talked about?
Well, Inspectional Services Department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember a few years ago they did some remanagement, so now there's an ISD chief, Zosia Van Meter. You might have seen her. She was back by popular request because she's a rock star, and so it was our first repeat in 3 years of the program. But she's the one that will tell you to call. Remember what she says is, you call her when there's something on private property, you call the DPW if there's something on city property. So this is kind of, if you have a neighbor who goes 4 days without doing their snow diligence, you call them. Things like that.
Thank you.
To just clarify, there is an inspectional services department. The chief of inspectional services is Brett Bennett, and the inspectional services department is made up of 3 divisions. One division is public health, which is myself, Lisa Tobin. One division is the facilities and grounds, of which we are looking for the director for that. And then Zosia Van Meter is the director of the inspectional division. So she would deal with all your housing complaints, all your environmental health complaints. That division also oversees building inspections, plumbing inspections, electrical inspections. And because senior center falls under public health and public health falls under inspectional services, I wanted to make sure I clarified that little org chart there.
Now, I have a question. It's more for Megan, but where Calvin brought some stuff up and Jean Marie requests for seniors. I remember last year, and I know we're in the middle of recovering from a snowstorm, but remember last year we did donations for sunscreen stuff for the seniors. Was it last year or the year before? Because a lot of them didn't have it. Are we still doing something like that?
I'm not aware of that.
I know one year we did sunscreen because a lot of the seniors just being out when it was real hot in the summer, that I know we got a bunch of bottles donated. If you can just look into it, I can start getting the word out if you want. Pam, do you remember that? Because I remember bringing a bunch of bottles down. And they went, wow,
Yeah.
sunscreen got expensive.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I will say
Oh, in the
vaguely.
middle of winter?
I would not have remembered if you had. Yeah, I am now.
I know we're in
Yeah,
the middle
that's-
of winter and in the middle of snow, but it's just something. It's going to be here before you know it, we hope.
I can actually have public health check that out. Public health does get work with Impact Melanoma, and we do provide sunscreen dispensers throughout the city at the parks and the splash pads. So I'm sure we can put a sunscreen dispenser down at the senior center, so when folks are there, they can, cover up, and then we can see about getting packets to give out to people.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank you,
Lisa.
Lisa. That's great. That's great. Anybody have any other questions for Calvin?
Yes,
Pam?
I do too. And this is for Director Best and for Calvin. A question had come up. So whenever there's an event at the senior center and there's a fee, let's say $5 for the holiday party, how is that money accounted for? And what is the disbursement of that, or that kind of thing?
So any income, any funds that we get, we return to the city on our Turn Back Tuesday. So we turn back in lunch money and we turn back in what we call friendly donations, and that's the money for the parties. So our most recent turn back, for Gliss, we turned in $42.50, and we turned in $219. So a family donated $200, and then we turned in another $19 on top of that from friendly donations. So every week, any funds that we get in goes back to the city, and it is accounted for.
I'd just like to clarify that. Go back to the city does not mean that the City of Lynn general funds takes that money. That means the money is brought to the city. The cash is brought to the city, deposited, and that money is made available to the senior center in what is known as our donation account.
Yes.
Okay.
So Gliss money goes back to Gliss. Other money is put into the senior center account for our donations. So I've used it before for a casino bus when we went to Foxwoods. So it's just like a little pool of money that we can pull from if we need something extra or special.
So let's say that 50 people come to a holiday lunch and they're charged $5, and so the whole $250 goes back to this pool.
Yes.
I think it may also be worthwhile, and I do have to jump off. I apologize. Moving forward, I've rescheduled a meeting on my end so I can stay for your whole meeting. But I do think it's important, and you may want to discuss it with the council about what happens, because the senior center has been trying to be more accommodating to letting more people come to events. But there is collection issues now. When people have been able to sign up late or show up the day of and haven't paid for an event. So that is a policy that should be discussed, how that will be handled.
All right.
And moving forward, the events will be identified as which ones are being supported by a grant. So there will be no charge to attend, and which ones are being supported by, funds that aren't necessarily given on that behalf. So we're going to start identifying so people can understand why is one event being charged for but not the other. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know which ones I should be doing. We're working to make that a little bit more transparent. And I do have to jump off. I apologize. Pam, if I can get with you and Diana maybe later, I want to get the whole new Zoom link from the City of Lynn sent out to everybody. And Pam, if you don't mind, I'd like to make you a co-host. That way you can kind of run the meeting, but it's on the city Zoom to make it a little bit easier for everybody. So I'm always available if you need anything, guys. But I have to go
Thank you,
talk to
Lisa.
my staff now.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Stay safe in this weather, would you please?
All right. So, Calvin, did you have anything else to add?
Nothing really, except because of Pam was just mentioned. Who just left?
Lisa.
Lisa left, yes. But Pam mentioned about our involvement with the Friends. We don't ever collect money. The only money we ever handle is 50-50 raffles. And half of it goes to the person who's drawn, and the other half goes into our funds. But it has nothing to do with the senior center itself. There's a purposefully buffer zone there, so that we have it, so that when you need something, she'll send out a request form. But we don't ever commingle or anything like that.
Thank you. Calvin, after the meeting, can you give me a call? I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions regarding Friends? No? All right. We're going to go on to new and old business. Construction. Megan.
I am happy to report that we have made leaps and bounds of growth with that construction. We are now using part of the second floor. The second floor is being used for chair yoga and for groups and clubs, including decor club, chorus club, photo club, and we've always used the second floor for garden club. So, but currently we're in the winter months, so that is really good. The pool table is now set up on the second floor. So the game room is now open. It's open for limited times at this point. So on Monday and Wednesdays, it's open from 11:30 to 12:30. And we're looking at having it open in the afternoon. We're kind of figuring out where staff is going to be able to be and where our volunteers are going to be able to be to support people being on the second floor in the afternoon as well. But the groups and clubs are in the afternoon. There's pool and there's dominoes in the morning as well upstairs. And then there's the cheer yoga.
All right, so we're just limited on the pool table until you have a volunteer just sitting upstairs more?
Yes, so we have staff going up 2 days a week, but we're looking to get some of our volunteers, our abatement volunteers are now starting, so we'll be assigning them upstairs as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, any questions?
Yes.
Smitty?
How come you have to have a staff to go up in the elevator?
It's just for safety. We just want to ensure that everybody gets where they're supposed to be and nothing happens.
I go up in an elevator 5 times a day going up my building.
Right.
I mean,
Okay, so you can have that level of independence. We can respect that without a doubt.
Okay.
If somebody was to go up in the elevator, can they get to the other floors?
Yes, they can.
All right, so in other words, you're doing it, and Smitty, I get it, you use your elevator in your building every day, but we're only limited to the second floor, but it will open up on the third and fourth floor is there anything, and that's the school department up there, correct?
Correct. It will open the third, fourth, and fifth floor.
Okay, and we can't get to stop at the second because there's too many people using that same elevator.
There's no floor walks where you can only go up so far without a key card.
You know what, maybe that's something we can sit and discuss, Megan. I'll sit down with you and with Lisa.
Okay.
And
Wait, I have, my question is, back in May, the director said the policy was people had to be self-sufficient to come to the center. And now we've got to have a staff person on each floor for them to use it. And now we have to have a staff person in an elevator too?
To have a staff person in the elevator is an additional support. And again, if somebody pushes the wrong button and winds up on the fifth floor, the fourth floor, we just want to ensure that they're okay. That's all. So it's not, I don't feel like it's being overprotective. I think it's just offering a level of support.
I feel that it is hindering folks' participation because we obviously don't have a volunteer for each person who attends the senior center. And so if we have to have staff on each floor, and once the people get used to seeing what the second floor looks like, they're going to know if they, I mean, these are people that go to Mass General, and that's a pretty big obstacle to navigate.
Yes.
And they manage to get in and out of there. I think that it hinders. If you had more volunteers to walk hand in hand with everybody, that would be one thing, but we don't have that.
All right, I will bring that back to the team and we can process that. Jackie, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I think that there are some members at the senior center that needs to have someone on the elevator with them in case they get on a floor and they can't get off. But I'm concerned about how the building is put together because anyone could come in that door, first floor, and they can go anywhere in that building. There's no security or anything to stop anybody from coming in that building through the elevator and going wherever they want. And the stairs also.
You have to be let in through your key card or buzzed in to get into the building on that side. So it's really LPS people, Lynn Public Schools, that are coming in there and the staff. But if for some reason somebody else was able to somehow access the building, they would have full access to the senior center and everything else. There is a card swiper there on that outside door that they're looking at reactivating. And that would just limit people from being able to come into the senior center if they got through that first door. So that is on the list of supports that we need from I think it's inspectional services. I'm not 100% sure. But that is a known issue that the city is working on for us, to have that door secured so only our swipers can open it, that second door.
But I know Jean Marie has a question, but I just want to add to that. But you mean you have to swipe your card to get into the main door or to the second door to get into the senior center?
The main door, you swipe your card to get in. But then once you get into that hallway, you could go in the elevator if you choose, or you could open the door, go up the stairs, go into the senior center. So we're looking at getting that that key code
right.
working.
Because I made that comment a while ago. I thought it was very unsecure if somebody was walk in and say, oh yeah, I'm going upstairs, and all of a sudden they just go into the senior center. It's a wide staircase and a door. It's not like you have to go through a hallway. You can get right into that building.
You were correct.
All right. Jean Marie, did you want to add something?
I agree with Pam that it seems that we want to build independence in our seniors, and we want to just give them the benefit of the doubt that they can make wise decisions, and that as a community they can look out for each other. But the question is, does the building have a policy on that elevator usage at all? Has there been any dialogue between the school committee and the senior center on how that elevator is to be used?
It's the only access for the other floors for the school department. So when you walk in, so they have to get to their office. So we use the first, second floor, and their third and fourth floor.
Right. So you know how sometimes in hotels, right, you need a key card to get into the upper floors. I don't know if Smitty mentions or somebody
mentioned that, but I know it's all the same key card to get into the building. And, we can see what we can do with the elevator.
But it wouldn't matter with the elevator because there's so many doors.
Yes, I know.
That you have access to get to the other floors.
I'm thinking just in terms of allowing there to be greater access to the seniors to the second floor without having to worry about them getting off on higher floors, right? If we could eliminate that concern, then we could have more ready access for them without being accompanied each time, right?
Now, do the seniors carry their key cards with them, or is it in their, like if they get up and go to get food, or if they were going to go upstairs, do they have their key card with them? Is it around their neck, or is it?
The seniors do carry their key card with them, but their key card allows them to scan in and say that they're here at the center and to pick their activities they want to engage in, transportation and meals. It doesn't open any doors.
Okay.
I'm concerned about if you don't, if you have a fire or something in the building, right? And you don't know who is where up on the second floor. Is there some kind of sign-up sheet or whatever to say where people are, where the seniors are in the building?
Well, that's part of our thought process around making sure that there's a staff, so we know we can, if there's an emergency in the building, we can access My Senior Center. We can generate a list of how many people signed in and who exactly signed in. But if I have staff supporting people going, if I have a staff upstairs on the second floor, they can make a list of who's come up on the second floor so we would know, or a volunteer.
Right.
Well, that's something we can work on with Lisa and see what her concerns are and see what we can do. And then more of the independence. If Smitty wants to go upstairs, he can just go. But like you said, though, you want somebody up there just to know who's up there. Like you said, God forbid there was an emergency in the building. We need to know how many seniors are upstairs or how many volunteers are upstairs. I get that.
Exactly.
But well, it's something to work on.
Always. We're not even 4 years old. We're learning and growing each day.
And that's something we'll learn on now and see what we can do with that. Right. Anyone have any other questions regarding?
Yeah, me.
Okay. Smitty?
That My Senior Center. I know we had it over the other place too. The question is, you say you use that to find out who's in the building.
Yes.
Question, there's a lot of people come in, they have breakfast and they leave. So that's not gonna be a correct account.
But they sign out, don't they? Are they
No, there's
supposed?
no
No.
sign out.
No.
Oh.
All right, because I know, like, if I go in the building, I have to sign in and I sign out. Sometimes I forget to sign out, but
Right, but they're swiping in if they're seniors, and there's no sign out. A lot of senior centers use the same My Senior Center programming.
all right. I didn't realize that. I thought they signed out when they left the building.
No.
I know,
Nope.
like, you're going in the school department, okay. That's something we have to work on then, because God forbid there was an emergency, you don't know who's left.
Mhm.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Smitty, for that. I didn't realize that.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, so we'll work on some of these and I'll talk to Lisa.
Okay.
Volunteer opportunities, which you basically just said, Megan, that program's starting back up.
The abatement program is starting back up, and we'll be looking for additional volunteers to support second floor usage as well.
Okay, now I know you said something about Tristan. I know he's on school committee. Is there something you can talk to him? I know he's fairly new, but let's say school vacations, or if he has some kids that could volunteer, maybe 3-4 hours a day to go sit upstairs, someone responsible. But is there something we can do with the schools to get, say, National Honor Society or certain kids in there to help certain hours, or like during vacation and summertime?
We have utilized students for specific activities to help us with things, but never to be put in a role to be kind of overseeing seniors. We haven't done that.
Because it would be more, let's say they're sitting upstairs, you're signing them in so you know who's up there. God forbid a medical emergency, they're going to call 911. Because even a regular volunteer, an adult, may not be able to help the person. They're going to do the same thing. So it's just something to think about if we could utilize some of the high school students responsible and sitting up there, sign the person in. Let's see, these guys want to play pool for an extra hour. That person's there for an hour. So it's not as if, oh, we have to go downstairs. No one's up here. Just give them that a little more time. And it's not like you're having a young kid babysit. The kid's sitting there and signing them in, and they're not interacting. You never know, a kid might go play pool, but you have to have someone at the desk and you know who's going to be up there.
Correct.
Just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you have to, I'm just something to
Just putting
think
it out there as an option. Thank you.
Diana, I think that's really important. What they're finding socially is that intergenerational interactions is really healthy for the older generations and the younger ones. There are kids who don't have access to grandparents and would love to be around seniors, hear their stories, and the older folks have plenty of stories to share, and their peers may not want to hear the same story again that they've heard 50 times, right? But so I think that's also something, that's a huge opportunity where we could really bless and the young kids and the members of the senior center. I think we should really look at that as a could be a win-win.
We're actually doing a current intergenerational project with Raw Arts and our seniors. That is for the Chinese New Year and also recording seniors' stories. So we definitely support intergenerational activities. And as I said, we're actively working on 2 right now at the senior center.
Good.
Because even just at work, I find some of my older customers, they laugh. Like my younger waitress is like, can you fix my phone for me? It's like my grandkids aren't around. Something like that, because it just, the younger kids have more patience to show people, whether it's the phone or their computer or just to tell them a story. It's like you said, there's something interacting with them, but All right, what are we on to next? Self-serve requirements, which we just went over some. Did anybody have something to add to that?
What does that mean?
Self-serve.
Yeah.
Okay, Smitty, go ahead.
I was just thinking myself, what's that mean?
Well, self-serve requirements, like we were just saying, you just said, yes, you can self-serve yourself. So if you want to go on the elevator by yourself, we're going to work on having you go on the elevator. If you want to go up and get your food with everybody else, you go up and get your food. If you can't, we'll have it delivered to your table. Just more like, how do you feel about stuff like that? And you just said that with your elevator, that you go up and down the elevator every day at your apartment, so you want to do it by yourself at the senior center.
This all started, Smitty, whenever the senior center staff put in the mandate that everyone, no matter Walker, your ability, you had to go stand in line to get your meal. But I believe that has changed since our last meeting.
I just want to clarify, that was never the policy. People who are using electronic mobility devices, their food was always brought to them. People who use walkers and canes were given the option, but people who use electronic mobility devices, we were bringing it to them. And now we're utilizing a new program to support seniors having their food brought directly to them. So people can get up and identify what they want to eat, and then the staff will put it on a tray and bring that to them. If people want to carry their tray themselves, they are able to do that. If they want that additional support, we have that support in place right now.
Okay. So they have the option.
They have the option, absolutely.
You have any other questions? No? All right. Okay, our last one is update our bylaws. I'm going to be honest, I did not work on it the month of December. I was so busy, and I talked to a few other people. They didn't. So I know, PM, we were trying to get a group together, whether it's Zoom, but then we were working out times and everyone couldn't coincide with the same time. So how do you want to go about this?
Well, I think that we had kind of looked at maybe assigning using the template of the other town that Attorney Lamanna had said. And so I believe Jean and Jackie and you and myself and Lamanna, we all kind of volunteered for a section to look it over. So maybe I'll look at throwing some dates out and see if we can find some times. I think that the big schedule there was Jean Marie is busy in the mornings and Jackie is busy in the afternoons. So that was our challenge. But maybe if Jean and Jackie could send us, let's say the first 2 weeks of February, some possible times, and then I could throw it out there.
Okay.
You want to send an email out to that effect then, Pam, or
Sure.
you respond?
Yeah, could you resend it to me to the new email address, because I don't have anything anymore. All right. Anybody have any other questions? I know this is a long meeting. We haven't met in a while, so all right, I think we're set, and everyone.
Diane,
Yeah.
I have a question
Jackie.
about the I thought we were going to go over something with the staffing. Was that on the agenda?
Was it? It probably was.
Yeah.
Senior center staff needs number B
Yeah.
above.
Staff needs. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Because I was volunteering for a while. I can't do it anymore. But I find that at lunchtime that there is more staff needed. It's like there's volunteers. I'm a volunteer, but I can't come all the time, and really I can't come anymore. And some days it's easy. It feels like the lunch is light. There might be 2 or 3 items that are served, but then there's other times where there's like 5 or 6 different items to serve and put on, and there's just not enough staff for the kitchen help. And this is just my take on it, and Megan, you know better than I do, but I was thinking that there needs to be another permanent staff that is dedicated to the kitchen, but maybe also can float and do other stuff when the kitchen is not being overwhelmed and stuff. Because I just found that there were days that I would come and I'd be a little late, but Megan would have to call Rachel or other staff members to come and help serve. And then if you're trying to serve the seniors the way that Megan is saying, where they come up, they say what they want, and then you can take the food. People have left taking the food to seniors, and then there's plates sitting there because they're not at their station, and it's like a backup, a pile up, and the food is, sitting out and stuff. And also another piece of it, when do staff members, does the city give yearly raises, and when do staff members get raises or reviews or whatever?
Okay, I'm going to take that in chunks. We are using a new program. We're working with this new program called the Triangle Program. It's new to us. So we're having some people come in, four students, basically. They're young adults. They're over the age, I believe, of 18. They come in and they are supporting breakfast and lunch. They come from 9:30 to 1 o'clock in our building. So they're supporting, helping Mel in the kitchen and helping with service. So that's how we're currently addressing that. This is a trial program that we're working with. So that's the first piece. The second piece is the city does not give annual raises. The raises are tied to contracts. And there are different unions. Some people employed at the senior center are not union employees. The majority of the senior center are not union employees.
So how do people get an increase in their salary?
We fall under, we follow the rules of the contract. So even though we're not in a contract, say a union like 193, if they get a raise, then the employees who are following the contract of 193 that are not union employees, they would also get that increase.
So a person could work there like a year or so without a review or without increase in salary?
Yes.
Wow.
And our contracts are there for a limited time. So when your contract will be reviewed when your contract's up, if you have a 2-year contract or a 3-year contract, and that would be a time that you could have some discussion and see what could happen at that point.
Does that answer your questions, Jackie?
Well, yeah, that answers the question. Not that I really like to answer, but that does answer it.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Could I just make a personal request? Jackie, we don't have your current phone number, so if you would let us know if we're the friends, we want to be able to send you stuff.
It in the chat. Let me see if I can actually do it.
Yeah. Well, another time. No, we don't have to do it in this venue, but.
Okay, I'll make sure you get it, Calvin.
Good.
Did I miss anything else on the list? No? All right. Well, we'll work on the bylaws. We'll do our next meeting in February. And let's pray for no more snow on Sunday night, okay? Because I have nowhere to put it right now. So, all right, everyone, have a great afternoon and thanks for coming to the meeting. I know we haven't, Calvin, did you have something?
No, I'm going to call you. I'm just waving by.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just a chair, a motion to adjourn, please.
Oh, do we have a motion to adjourn? Sorry.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. All right, everyone, maybe next meeting won't be quite as long and we won't have a problem with the
It
Zoom.
was okay. Okay.
Everyone have a great afternoon
You
and
too. Be
stay warm,
safe.
okay?
Stay well. Yeah.